2021 undoubtedly an eventful year for the Sri Lanka men's cricket team, a year that saw disappointment, change and growth. Several new faces walked into the side and made a mark, with the team going from a disastrous first half of the year to fan favourites in the second half. Now it's time to have a look at the ledger to see how the numbers stack up for 2021. Sri Lanka played 44 international games across formats during the year, managing to win 15, lose 25 and draw 3. The numbers don't really look good at first glance, do they? But the narrative itself through the year was a little more positive, trust me. Let's start with the tests first. Sri Lanka played 9 test matches in 2021. They played 3 home series against the West Indies, Bangladesh and England, and 2 away series in the West Indies and South Africa. The results were evenly distributed with 3 wins, 3 losses and 3 draws in the format. The 3 wins came in home series against the Bangladesh and the West Indies, while they suffered an embarrassing 2-test whitewash in Galle at the hands of the Englishmen and another in Johannesburg against the Proteas. The standout batsman of the year was of course none other than skipper Dimuth Karunaratne. The left-hander ended the year as the 3rd highest run scorer in the world behind Joe Root and Rohit Sharma with 902 runs to his name in 13 innings. The southpaw also hit 4 centuries and 3 50s during the year. His staggering batting average of 69.38 is the highest in the world this year among cricketers who have played over 5 tests. He also holds the record for the highest score of the year, his 244 against Bangladesh in Pallekele, which we of course pick as our knock of the year. On the bowling front, it was left-arm spinner Lasith Ambuldenniya who was the most successful for Sri Lanka this year with 32 test wickets in his 6 matches. Ambuldenniya sits at 7th slot in the table of highest wicket takers globally, with the topper being none other than R. Ashwin of India, who has taken 52 wickets in 2021. As the spell of the year for Sri Lanka in tests, there were many close contenders, but we had to hand it to Ramesh Mendis's match-winning 6-for against West Indies in Galle. When the Windies were looking to dominate after a batting collapse from the hosts, Mendis kicked in and turned the tables to help Sri Lanka win the game by a huge margin. He ended up with 11 wickets in the match. Moving on to the ODIs, it was a year of drastic changes for Sri Lanka in the white ball arena. They took up the youth strategy midway through the year, dropping several seniors including the previous skipper Dimuth Karunaratne. Having played 15 ODIs this year, Sri Lanka managed only to win 4 games. A spirited 97-run win over Bangladesh in Dhaka, and 3 other wins that came at home against South Africa and a very understrength India. Batting has been a major issue for the team throughout the year in ODIs. This is perfectly reflected by the fact that Wanindu Hasaranga is Sri Lanka's highest run getter in the format with 356 runs despite batting at number 6, 7 or 8 more often than not. Behind him are Charit Asalanka, Avishka Fernando and Dhananjay De Silva with just over 300 runs. Kusal Pereira's 120 on a tough Dhaka wicket is what we have picked as the knock of the year in ODIs for Sri Lanka. On the other hand, the bowling has been of utmost quality for the nation, especially from Dushmantha Chameera and Wanindu Hasaranga. Chameera, who stepped into 2021 with a newfound spring in his step, terrorized almost all the openers who he bowled against with searing pace and impeccable discipline. He ended up as the highest wicket taker of the year globally, picking up 20 wickets in his 13 outings. Chameera's 5-for in the same game in which KJP scored that century in Bangladesh is going to be the spell of the year for us in ODIs. It was also the only 5-for in ODIs picked up by a Sri Lankan this year, and it also earned him the man of the match title in that game. 2021 was a mega year for T20 cricket thanks to the ICC Men's T20 World Cup. Sri Lanka played a total of 20 T20 internationals in 2021 and won 8. Interestingly, 5 of those wins came in the World Cup, where Sri Lanka performed far better than what was expected of them. Batting was once again not the strongest suit for the team in the short format too. The highest run scorer for Sri Lanka was Pathum Nissanka, who made 302 runs at a healthy average of 27.45. As the T20 knock of the year, we've got Charit Asalankas fighting 80 not out against Bangladesh in the ICC T20 World Cup. Asalanka walked in at 1 for 2 in the first over and made sure Sri Lanka got over the line in some tricky conditions. For the bowlers, well, there's this one guy, Wanindu Hasaranga de Silva. Sri Lanka owes a great deal of their success to this man. The world's #1 T20I bowler and also the highest wicket taker of the year, he picked up 36 wickets in 20 games at an average of 11.63 and an economy rate of 5.44. Just unbelievable numbers in T20 cricket. The leggy picked up 4 wickets for just 9 runs in the third T20 of India's tour of Sri Lanka to help the locals win the game and the series against the mighty Indians, which we picked as our T20I bowling performance of the year. On the franchise front, Sri Lanka also managed to stage the second edition of the Lanka Premier League successfully, with the Jaffna franchise rebranded as the Jaffna Kings this year, winning their second consecutive title. Well, that's a wrap for 2021. Don't forget to let us know your favorite moments of the year in the comment section below.
Stay on the ball with the Papare Sports News Alerts. Don't miss out on what's happening in the world of sport. Type sports and send to 678 to register. 30 rupees per month. Conditions apply.